So, good morning to all of you. And today we are going to start our next session on GST Live Course. So, once confirm me that my voice is audible and the PDF file is visible to you so that we can start the session. I know on Sunday morning 8 a.m. session is difficult, but this is the time to start the learning, and I just want that your complete day will be free on Sunday so that the time is 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. So just confirm me once that my voice is audible and the PDF file is visible to you so that we can start it. Okay. Thank you for joining this live session and just recap what we had done in our last two session. We had already completed our discussion on the constitutional background article number 246A of GST. We had also completed the benefits of GST, the framework of GST, dual framework of GST. We had discussed about the one nation one tax, also the deficiency of pre GST regime and certain taxes जो यहाँ पर बंद हो गए हैं, सब्स्टिट्यूट हो गए हैं due to goods and services tax. Okay, after that we had started our discussion on the very basic definition and the theme of GST, that is supply, section number 7 of CGST Act. After that we had started our discussion on the section number 8, that is composite and mixed supply. Section number 9 talks about the charging section and section number 10 talks about the composition scheme. There are two schemes for taxability, one is composition scheme and another is the regular scheme. Section number 10 is talks about the composition scheme. After that we had started our discussion on the section number 12, that is time of supply. In case of supply of goods, forward charge, reverse charge, voucher, residual cassette, and interest and late fees ka addition. And after that, we had started section number 13 of CGST Act, that is time of supply of services. And next one is section number 14. Whenever there is a rating change, whenever there is a change in rate of tax, in that case what will be the provision, how we are going to decide the time of supply, and also we had discussed about the effect of time of supply on rate of GST and applicability of GST rates in our yesterday's session. Okay, so in our today's session we are going to cover the most important topic of GST, that is place of supply and the valuation part. Okay, we had already covered that this particular transaction or this particular activity is to be treated as supply. Now question arises that when we need to pay the tax, so we had already discussed about the time of supply. Now the next question is that we need to charge CGST, SGST or IGST. So for determining that CGST, SGST or IGST, we need to consider the basic terms of place of supply. And after that, हमने ये decide कर दिया, we had already decided that this is the time, this is the CGST, SGST, IGST, that is, this is the place. The next question will be that what is the amount on which we need to pay the GST? So how we are going to calculate that amount? So for calculating the amount on which we need to pay the GST, we have the valuation to decide the value, section number 15 of CGST Act. So first we are going to discuss on our segment, that is place of supply. Okay, so this is a very important concept. थोड़े से confusions हैं and multiple time there are situation that taxpayer is going to charge CGST, SGST instead of IGST, or charging IGST instead of CGST and SGST, and these all mistakes are only due to the lack of knowledge regarding the place of supply. Okay, so in this session we are going to clear our each and every concept regarding that place of supply. So I'm not going to taking the definitions till. So section number 10 we had already covered under in our yesterday session, but I just want to repeat the same. Section number 10 of IGST, place of supply of goods other than supply of goods imported or exported from India. That means section number 10 will be applicable in case of domestic supply. Whenever there will be a domestic supply, at that time section number 10 of IGST will be applicable. And as per section number 10, whenever there is a movement of goods, at that time the supply will be, the place of supply will be where the delivery terminates. That place will be my place of supply. In case of build to ship to model, we had already discussed in detail about the build to ship to model. Whenever there will be a situation regarding build to ship to model, in that case, your billing address will be the place of supply. After that, whenever there will be no movement involved, in that case, at the time of delivery, where is the location of such goods will be treated as the place of supply. Next, in case of assembling and installation, the place of assembling and installation will be treated as the place of supply. And in case where the goods are supplied on a board, so the first scheduled point will be treated as your place of supply. That is the taken on board, where the goods are taken on board, that place will be treated as the place of supply. These are the five situations, these are the 5 points which will be applicable in case of domestic. And in case of domestic, if you are not going to decide with the help of section number 10 of IGST Act, in that case, you need to take reference of various rules. Okay. Now, section number 10, subsection number 2 says where the place of supply of goods cannot be determined, the place of supply determined in such manner as may be prescribed. That means when you are not able to decide the place of supply from these five principle or five points, in that case you need to take the reference of rules. So we are going to take multiple situations, on the basis of those situations we are going to decide the place of supply. Next, in case of import of goods, suppose I am in India and I want to import certain goods, that is, I want to bought certain goods from outside India. In that case, that buying will be called as my import. I am as an importer and counterparty will be the other state, other country. In that case, the same will be treated as import, and in that case the place of supply will be the place of importer. In that case, I need to, that is, importer needs to pay the taxes under reverse charge mechanism. IGST should be paid because this should be treated as your interested supply. So basically, whenever there will be an import of goods, जब भी यहाँ पर कोई import of goods होगा, in that case only IGST should be charged under reverse charge mechanism. That is what is the concept of section number 11, subsection number A, import of goods. Now, export of goods. In case of export of goods, when any goods, which mean to taking goods out of India to a place, when I am going to sell any particular product outside India, Germany, UK, US, in that case, that supply will be treated as my export of goods. In case of export of goods, that will be treated as interstate supply and same as zero rated supply. We had already discussed, whenever there is a goods exported or sent it outside India, in that case that will be treated as export if the consideration will be received in the forex, foreign currency. In that case, that supply will be treated as interstate supply and the tax rate will be 0%. Okay. In that case, the place of supply in case of export of goods is the place where they have been exported. That is, destination outside India will be the place of supply, and accordingly IGST should be charged, but the rate of GST will be 0%. If the export is under bond or LUT, that means export. Most probably you all have received the books, received the study material, and if someone has not received that study material, then most probably they will receive by Monday. Okay, not, there is no more delay. So in case of export, export is two type, with payment and without payment. With payment means I need to make the payment of IGST and I can claim back that refund in my bank account. And there is no requirement to claim because the amount is automatically credited to the bank account. If the invoice number on custom portal and if the invoice number on GSTN portal is same and all the data is reconciled from the ICE get portal. Without payment, that means in case of export, if someone is not going to make the payment of taxes, in that case that person has to apply for LUT and bond on GST and common portal. How we are going to apply for that bond, how we are going to apply for letter of undertaking, how we are going to take the refund, we are going to discuss all these things at the time of our discussion on the practical return filing under GST. So now we are going to start our discussion on the most important section regarding place of supply, that is place of supply section number 12. Abhi kuch hi der pehle we had already discussed there are 5 points and we need to decide the place of supply accordingly, and if the situation falls other than in these 5 points, in that case we need to take reference of various rules under GST. So we are going to discuss on different situations. So just take your pen and paper and try to note down that situation and accordingly decide the place of supply. And one more suggestion from my side, whether you are a departmental authority or not, you just need to take certain practical cases, practical examples, that in this particular example what will be the place of supply, so that at the time of filing of GST at 9 and 9C, or at the time of doing the business audit any type or handling any type of litigation, at that time you got the clear cut idea that this situation is related to interstate supply, this situation is related to intrastate supply, this situation is my export, this situation is my import, so that you can decide the taxability accordingly. Okay, now section number 12 is subsection 2 talks about the journal rule, that means universal rule. This rule will be applicable in each and every case. I am going to take this place of supply topic in a very slow speed, in a very stated manner. So if you have any doubt, if you have any question, any point, you just need to raise the question in the chat box. Okay, so section number 12 subsection 2, this rule is applicable only if supply of service does not fall in any of the specific cases provided under section number 12. That means in section number 12 there are certain specific cases are there. If the situation, if the particular transaction is fall under those specific transaction, in that case the general rule of section number 12 subsection 2 will not be applicable. That means if the situation is covered under the specific segment, decide the place of supply according to specific segment. If the situation is not covered under the specific segment, in that case we need to decide the same as per the journal principle. The rule provides that the place of supply of service made to a registered person is the location of person receiving the service. Suppose I am going to provide my services to Mr. X and Mr. X is registered under Gujarat. In that case, the place of supply will be Gujarat. I am in Rajasthan, so IGST should be charged. So the basic principle is that whenever there is a supply of service to the registered person, the place of supply will be the place of location of the person who is receiving the service. Since the supplier has the GSTN of person receiving the service, the location of such GSTN is the place of supply. Suppose Mr. X is coming to Jodhpur, Rajasthan, and he is already registered under Gujarat. He is coming to Jodhpur for taking my consultancy and I am providing the consultancy to Mr. X. In that case, X has the GSTN of Gujarat and I am providing the consultancy as Jodhpur, Rajasthan. In that case, I need to decide the place of supply according to the GSTN. So in that case, place of supply will be Gujarat and IGST should be charged. However, if the service is supplied to any unregistered person, suppose someone, Mr. Rakesh is coming to me and saying for the consultancy and he is unregistered under GST. And if I know the address of that unregistered person, in that case, that address will be treated as place of supply. Suppose Mr. Y is coming from Maharashtra. He is not registered under GST. He is going to take my consultancy. I have the address of that particular person, that this person is from Maharashtra and this is the address of this particular person. So in that case, that supply will be treated as interstate supply and IGST should be charged. And if I have no address of that unregistered person. Suppose on the website of Beto Consultancy Networking Private Limited, someone is logging to the portal and taking the consultancy of the experts of Beto. In that case, Batuk has no record regarding the person. In that case, the place of supply will be the place of the supplier. That means the registered place of Batuk will be treated as the place of supply and CGST as GST should be charged. So, as per journal principle, I am also going to take various examples with certain situations so that it will be more clear in your mind with each and every point. Okay. So, general rule is there: if recipient is registered, recipient is unregistered. In case where recipient is registered, so the GST, and that is the place of registered recipient, will be treated as the place of supply. If that recipient is not registered and if address is available, in that case, place of supply will be that address. If no address, in that case, place of supply will be the supplier place. That is what is the situation. This is the complete chart regarding the journal principle under to decide the place of supply. Now we are going to start our discussion on certain specific situations, that in these specific situations, how we are going to decide the place of supply and what will be the place of supply, we are going to discuss one by one. Once confirm in the chat box that the journal principle is okay for each and everyone. Now, the first specific situation: service in relation to an immobile property or accommodation in an hotel, boat or vessel. That is, service is related to immovable property. First, we are going to discuss the logic also, so that at the time of handling the practical cases, at the time of handling the litigation, at the time of handling the audit, you can got the idea from the situation that what will be the place of supply. Okay, because this is not possible for each and everyone, or this is not possible for everyone that to remember or to memorize the exact provision of law. We just need to remember the things with reference of the certain examples which are directly related to the provision of law, so that at the time of practical filing, practical discussion, practical litigation, we can use the same. Okay, so we need to learn accordingly so that that will be more useful for us इन अवर डे टू डे प्रैक्टिकल सिचुएशंस. खाली उसको रीड आउट कर लेने से कुछ नहीं होगा, खाली मेमोराइज करने से कुछ नहीं होगा, खाली रटने से कुछ नहीं होगा. We need to know the implementation of that particular provision. So, section number 12 subsection 3 says, in case of immobile property, suppose I am an architecture, I am a designer, and I am going to provide my designing services for a specific immobile property. In that case, the place of supply will be the location of that immobile property. That means this is the rule: whenever there is any supply on account of any immobile property like hotel, boat, vessel, in that case, the place of supply will be the location of that immobile property. Okay. Now, there are certain categories, and in those categories, they are going to divide the same. They are going to divide the services. So, in case of immobile property, architect की services हो सकती है, interior decorator, surveyor, engineer, estate agent. Services provided by way of grant of right to use immobile property. Certain persons are there who are dealing with the IPR, that is intellectual property rights, and all other rights. So if someone is going to do the work or provide the services regarding transfer of right to use certain immobile properties, in that case this will be helpful. And services provided by hotel, inn and guest house, home stay, club. Services provided by accommodation in an immobile property for organizing any marriage, reception, any cultural business event, and services provided in relation to functions at such properties, services ancillary to above mentioned services. In that case, we need to decide the place of supply, and in all those situations, the place of supply will be the location of immobile property. So logically, we had already covered. Now we are going to discuss from the provision of law. Whenever any service related to the immobile property, in that case, the place of supply will be the location of that immobile property. Boat or vessel, and where such immobile property, boat, vessel is intended to be located shall be the place of supply. Now, if that immobile property is located in more than one state and one union territory, okay, suppose that immobile property is situated in Rajasthan, another immobile property is situated in Maharashtra, another immobile property is situated in Gujarat, and recipient, as a recipient, I am going to take the services of all these immobile properties. In that case, what will be the place of supply? In that case, the place of supply will be the proportion in which I had taken that service. Suppose I had taken the service from Rajasthan for 50 lakh rupees, I had taken the service from Gujarat for 50 lakh rupees, from Maharashtra for 50 lakh rupees. In that case, in this proportion, I need to decide my place of supply. For that 50 lakh rupees, place of supply will be Rajasthan itself. So CGST, SGST should be charged. In case of Gujarat, IGST should be charged. In case of Maharashtra, IGST should be charged. So accordingly, we need to decide. Now, manner of determining the proportionate value of services whenever there will be no contract. Suppose I require certain, I'm going to take certain sessions on various locations, okay, and I need certain banquet halls and all these. So I am going to take the halls from Maharashtra, from Gujarat, from Tamil Nadu, all these states. In that case, how we are going to decide? First situation is that if we have the contract, if we have the mutual contract, in that case, on the basis of the terms of that mutual contract, we are going to decide. Okay. Now, second scenario, if there is no contract is available, in that case, in case of hotel, guest house, in that case, the proportion will be the number of nights stayed in such property. Suppose I am going to stay in Rajasthan for 5 days. I am going to stay in Gujarat for 5 days, for Tamil Nadu for 10 days, for Maharashtra for 15 days. In that case, the place of supply will be decided according to the number of days I have stayed in the particular property. Okay. Suppose in case of immobile property related to organizing any marriage or any reception party, in that case, in the ratio of the immobile property which is situated in different locations, okay, उस ratio के अंदर जो area है, उस area के अंदर we are going to decide the place of supply. That means the place of supply will be decided according to the area of that particular immobile property laying in each state and union territory. Now, if the service is related to houseboat and vessel, Srinagar and all other lake town has multiple houseboats. Okay, in case of houseboats, they are running from one to another location. In that case, what will be the place of supply? Suppose one houseboat is available for 15 days as Rajasthan, then that houseboat has crossed the territory of the Rajasthan and enter into the Gujarat, or after that that houseboat is going to enter into the Maharashtra. In that case, what will be the place of supply? So we need to decide the same according to the time spent by the boat or vessel in each state or union territory. So in that case, टाइम स्पेंट के बेसिस के ऊपर यहाँ पर होने वाला है डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई का. वी आर गोइंग टू डिसाइड द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई. So there are three situations. Whenever there is a contract exists, in that case the place of supply will be according to the terms of that contract. When there is no contract is available, in that case related to hotel, guest house, the number of night stayed in that particular hotel. In relation to immobile property, in that case the area of that particular immobile property in each state, in this ratio we need to decide the place of supply. And in case of houseboat and vessel, particular kitne time, the time spent in a particular state, that will be decide the place of supply. Once confirm me that this situation is okay for you, that is, If I want to give you the concluding remarks, in that case, in case of immobile property, the place of supply will be the location of the place of supply. If the immobile property is situated in two or more locations, in that case we need to decide if the immobile property is related to hotel guest in that case, number of nights is spent in a particular hotel. And then after, if the particular immobile property is used for the marriage and reception and other business functions, in that case the area of that immobile property. And in case of houseboat, the time spent in particular state will be decide the place of supply, the ratio of place of supply. That is what is the concept. Okay, so basically very common provision, very normal provision, very simple provision, nothing very crucial in that. Next, restaurant services, catering services, personal grooming, fitness, beauty, and health services. In these services, what will be the place of supply? So, suppose I am doing the work of catering, and if I want to do that catering work, in that case, I need to go the place of that particular event, and I need to do the work at that particular place. In that case, the place of supply will be the location where the particular service is actually performed. So the place of supply will be the services actually performed. जहां पर ब्यूटी ट्रीटमेंट, where the person is provided the services related to the personal grooming, the fitness, the body and healthcare services, the place will be treated as the place of supply. Regarding training and performance appraisal services, the place of supply of service in relationship training and performance appraisal services upon whether the supply is to B2B or B2CS. Suppose if I am going to train certain registered person, in that case the place of supply will be different. And if I am going to train certain unregistered person, in that case the place of supply will be different, and we need to decide the same. So in case of B2B, if the counterparty, if the recipient is registered under GST, in that case, the place of supply will be the recipient of service. So this is the basic concept. There is nothing important, because whenever the recipient is registered, in that case, the place of recipient will be treated as the place of supply. When the recipient is not registered person, that means when I am going to provide my training services to unregistered person, in that case where the recipient of service is unregistered, and the place of supply is the place where the service is actually performed. Suppose I am going to take the services, I am going to provide the training services online, and you all are unregistered person. In that case, the place where I am going to actually perform the services, so that we can say I am going to actually perform the services from the office of Batuk Consultancy and Networking Private Limited, that will be situated in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. So the place of supply will be the Rajasthan, and CGST and SGST should be charged. So that is what is the importance of training and performance related services. When the recipient is registered, in that case the place of recipient will be treated as the place of supply. When the recipient is not registered, in that case where the service is actually performed, that place will be treated as the place of supply. That is what is the scenario. Now, next, section number 12, subsection number 6. We had already covered three situations: 12.3, 12.4, 12.5. Okay, if you have any question, if you have any doubt regarding any specific point, this is my humble request to you. Just comment in the chat box so that we can take that particular topic. Now, services by way of admission to events, amusement parks, and other purposes. That means there is certain organizations are there, and they are going to organize certain events, or there are certain other cultural event and sporting event and like that. In that case, what will be the place of supply? We need to decide according to section number 12, subsection 6. So for that purpose, the place of supply where the event actually held. Just like that, in case of immovable property, where the immovable property is situated, that place will be treated as my place of supply. And in case of any event, whether it is a cultural event, sports related event, or any other type of event, the place of supply where that event actually held, that place will be treated as my place of supply. Now, organization of event. Suppose if Batu Consultancy wants to organize certain events, and in that case, if someone is going to provide the services to Batak Consultancy, in that case, what will be the place of supply? For that purpose, we need to read the language of law. For supplies related to organization of events and assigning sponsorship to such event, the place of supply depends on whether the supply is made to registered person and to unregistered person. When such services is provided to the registered person, in that case, place of supply will be the place of recipient. This is okay. जैसे जैसे we are going to discuss on different situations, our concept got clear. When it is provided to an unregistered person, the place of supply is the location where the event is actually held. Or if the event is held outside India, in that case, place of supply is the location of the recipient. That means if someone wants to organize if someone wants to organize one event and want to decide the place of supply accordingly, in that case, if recipient is registered, in that case uska principal place of business will be treated as the place of supply. If the recipient is not registered, in that case actually held, where the event actually held, and if held outside India, if the event is going to held outside India, in that case the recipient of service. Suppose I want to organize one event in UK. Okay, and for that purpose, I am going to connect with the Batuk consultancy. I am the recipient. In that case, I am is in Rajasthan, and the event is going to held in outside India. In that case, the place of recipient will be treated as place of supply. And if the recipient is in outside India, the place of that recipient is also is in outside India. In that case, the place of supply will be outside India, and the same is to be treated as your export. Now, if the event is held in more than one state and union territory, in that case, the same will be determined in the proportion of the value of service. Okay, and how we are going to decide the value of service? For that purpose, we need to refer the section number 15 of CGST Act, that is valuation, and also we are going to discuss on certain valuation rules, rule number 27 to rule number 32. Okay, so that is what is the specific situation in case of the event actually held and related transactions. Okay. Now, so just check your mind that the points related to immobile property, point related to event, point related to organization of a specific event is okay or not. In relation to immobile property, the location of immobile property will be treated as the place of supply. Regarding any event, the place of event where the actually holding of the event has done. And if this is specifically related to hotel and all that, in that case number of nights ke ratio ke andar we are going to decide. That is what is the our discussion. Now we are going to discuss the next point, that is section number 12 subsection 8. In case of transportation of goods including mail or courier, in that case the place of supply will be the location where the goods is going to handed over to that particular person. Two situations are there. If the recipient is registered, in that case the GSTN will be treated as the place of supply. If the recipient is unregistered person, in that case where the goods handed over for the transportation, that will be treated as the place of supply. Okay, so this is related to the transportation of goods services. Suppose transporter is going to provide the services. I want to post my books to my participants. In that case, I need to take the services of the transporter. Suppose as I am registered, I am the recipient of service and I am registered. In that case, my place will be treated as the place of supply. But suppose I was not registered under GST. In that case, when I am going to hand over that particular parcel to the courier agent, that place will be treated as the place of supply. That is what is the example of this situation. Now, next point. Passenger transportation services, section number 12 subsection 9. Passenger transportation, if recipient is registered, in that case, location of the recipient. If the recipient is unregistered, location where the passenger embarks, the conveyance of continuous journey, jahan se, from where the recipient is going to start the journey, that place will be treated as the place of supply. Suppose I want to go to Mumbai and I am going to start my journey from Jodhpur, Rajasthan. In that case, the place of supply will be the Jodhpur, Rajasthan, and accordingly CGST and SGST should be charged. Okay, so that is what is the situation. Now, services supplied on board. In that case, location of the first scheduled point of departure will be treated as the place of supply. Suppose I am traveling from Rajasthan to Mumbai by flight. Okay, in that case, a flight के अंदर if I am going to take certain services, okay, in that case, the place of supply will be the my first scheduled point of departure, that is my Jodhpur, Rajasthan, and accordingly CGST, SGST or IGST should be charged. That is what is the scenario whenever there is this type of services is to be provided. Okay, so this is a specific situation. So currently we had covered now again three segment. One is related to transportation of goods, another is transportation of passenger, then third one is our services supplied on board. Okay, now one more important part is there, that is telecommunication services, and we all are going to use these type of services, that is the telecommunication services. In that case, what will be the place of supply? In case of telecommunication services, we need to decide. So for that purpose, suppose you are going to do the work of any telecommunication agent. Okay, in that case we need to decide the place of supply, and you are going to get the data regarding the telecommunication client. In that case also we need to take care of these things. So for that purpose, we are going to analyze the section number 12 subsection 11 regarding the telecommunication services. So there are three categories, and according to these three categories we are going to decide the place of supply. Sir, सब कुछ समझ आ रहा है ना आपको? Each and everything is okay for you ना? Just comment me in the chat box, okay, so that I got that idea that everything is fine for you, everything is okay for you. So services provided using a fixed telecommunication line. Whenever there is a service regarding the telecommunication, that is whenever the telecommunication service is provided through the telecommunication lines from certain fixed establishment, in that case the place of that telecommunication line or tower or this antenna will be treated as the place of supply. So you can say that as where the immobile property is situated, we are going to take the place of that immobile property as a place of supply. Accordingly, whenever the telecommunication services is from any dish antenna, any telecommunication tower, any establishment, in that case, the location of that telecommunication antenna, tower or line, that will be treated as your place of supply. And we need to decide the IGST, CGST and SGST accordingly. In case of postpaid mobile connection and postpaid internet services, that means this is specifically related to postpaid. In case of postpaid services, if the location of billing address of recipient of service is available on record. Suppose I had taken the connection of BSNL or MTNL. In that case, MTNL has the location of my billing address. In that case, this billing address will be treated as the place of supply. MTNL is registered under Mumbai, Maharashtra, and I am also under in Mumbai, Maharashtra, and I am going to take the services of MTNL. In that case, MTNL has the address of my place. In that case, CGST, SGST will be charged. Suppose MTNL has no address. In that case, the location of supplier of service, if the address is not available, that is the MTNL principal place of business will be treated as the place of supply, and CGST and SGST should be charged accordingly. That is what is the situation of section number 12 subsection section number 12 subsection number 11. So first category was related to telecommunication tower, line, leased circuit, etc, where the location where all those things are situated. And in case of postpaid billing or postpaid internet services, if the billing address is available, in that case that billing address will be treated as the place of supply, and if the billing address is not available, in that case location of supplier of service will be treated as the place of supply. Now we are going to talk on the current situation. We are going to use these things on our day-to-day life. Prepaid mobile connection and prepaid internet and direct to home services, in that case what will be the place of supply? Suppose I am going to the Airtel store and buying that particular voucher. In that case, if I am going to take the services from any seller, selling agent, any reseller, any distributor, in that case the place of supply will be the address of the selling agent, reseller, distributor. Suppose Bharti Airtel is registered and corporate office is in Mumbai, okay, and they have appointed many selling agents throughout the India. One selling agent is in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, and if I am going to take the services of that particular uh, selling agent, and selling agent is going to take the services from the Bharti Airtel Maharashtra. In that case, the place of supply will be the address of that selling agent. That means Bharti Airtel will take the place of supply as interested supply, and IGST should be charged accordingly. Okay, I am going to take multiple examples so that your concept will be clear. And if you want certain more examples, or if any if you have any doubt on any specific point, you may say that please repeat this concept or take one or two more examples so that your concept will be more clear. Now, services provided by any person to final subscriber, location where the such prepayment is received or such vouchers are sold. When that agent is going to, agent who is not agent, उसने कहीं से क्या किया, कोई वाउचर उसके पास में आए हुए, if he is going to sell that particular voucher to the final subscriber, in that case the place where the vouchers are sold, that place will be treated as the place of supply. Suppose one person is not registered as an agent, selling agent, distributor of Bharti Airtel, but he is going to sell those vouchers and he is also buying certain these things from someone else. In that case, the place of supply where the vouchers are sold by that particular person. Prepaid services on the payment of the same is made through internet banking, other electronic mode of payment. In that case, the location of recipient of service in the records of the supplier of service will be treated as the place of supply. I am going to recharge my Geo mobile, okay, through my internet banking or through mobile banking. In that case, Geo fiber or Geo has already my principal, my address. In that case, that address will be treated as the place of supply. Okay. Now, other cases, the address of recipient as per the records of the supplier, and if the address is not available, in that case location of the supplier of the service will be treated as the place of supply. This is the general principle again. Okay, so that is what is the complete concept in case of telecommunication tower. Total three categories are there. First category, in case of telecommunication tower, telecommunication lines, all that, and this antenna. In that case, the location of the particular establishment. In case of postpaid services, the billing address. In case of prepaid services, if selling through agent, reseller, in that case, the place of that agent will be treated as place of supply. If selling other than if sales done by the person other than the agent or selling agent, in that case the location where the vouchers are sold. And in case of internet banking, in that case the address, the location of the recipient of service, and general principle is also there. Okay, now suppose if the telecommunication tower, if the leased circuit is installed in one or more location, in that case what will be the place of supply. So we need to decide the same according to contract and agreement. And suppose if there is no contract or agreement is available, in that case we need to decide from the proportion of number of points laying in each state and union territory. उस सर्किट लाइन के, उस टेलीकम्युनिकेशन टायर लाइन के जो लिंकेज पॉइंट्स हैं, that will decide the place of supply. Okay, suppose there are 3 points are there. One is Rajasthan, another is Gujarat, and third one is Maharashtra. In that case, place of supply will be determined according to 3 places. That means the place of supply will be decided one third. Okay, so accordingly we need to decide. So in case of telecommunication tower, if location more than one state, in that case according to the agreement. If there is no agreement is available, in that case we are going to take the points of that telecommunication tower, and according to the points situated in different states, we are going to decide the place of supply. In case of financial and stock broking services, section number 12, subsection 12, the place of supply of banking and financial services to any person. In that case, if the location of the recipient of service in the records of the supplier, that means if the records, if the address is available with the supplier, in that case the place of that particular address will be treated as place of supply. But if the location of the recipient of service is not available in the records of the supplier, in that case the place of supply will be the location of the supplier of service. General principle, if you have the address of recipient, in that case that address will be treated as the place of supply. And if the address is not available in the records, in that case the location of the supplier will be treated as the place of supply. Now, insurance services, section number 12, subsection number 13. The place of supply of insurance services is the location of recipient when provided to the registered recipient. If the services are provided to a person other than registered person, the place of supply of the location of the recipient in service in the records of supplier of service. In case of insurance services, suppose insurance company is going to provide the services, and if the recipient is registered, in that case that registered place will be treated as place of supply. And if the recipient is not registered, in that case the address available in the records of the insurance company, that will be treated as the place of supply. So these are the journal certain specific provisions related to the place of supply. So just we are going to revise these points once. Just we are going to revise. Okay. So that it will be more clear in your mind. So basic principle is that if you have the if the recipient is registered, in that case the place of registered recipient will be treated as the place of supply. If the recipient is not registered, in that case the address available in the record will be treated as the place of supply. And if the address is not available in the record, in that case the location of the supplier of the services will be treated as the place of supply. Next, related to immobile property, the situation of the immobile property will be treated as the place of supply. Next thing we had covered is our performance based services, catering, personal grooming, fitness, etc. In that case, where the services actually performed, that place will be treated as the place of supply. In case of any admission to any event, amusement park, in that case where the event actually held, that place will be treated as my place of supply. Next one, transportation of goods. In that case, if the services to the registered person, the place of the registered person. If to unregistered person, where the goods handed over, that place will be treated as the place of supply. Passenger transportation services, registered person, in that case the address of the recipient. If not registered person, in that case the first point jahan se continuous journey start ki, that place will be treated as the place of supply. Services supplied on board, in that case the first scheduled point of departure will be treated as the place of supply. And in case of telecommunication tower, we had already covered three different situations. So each and everything is okay for everyone. So we are going to start our discussion on advertisement of government and other points. But I just want a break for 10 minutes. We are going to just meet sharp at 9:05 a.m. 9:05 a.m. I will be there. So this is my humble request to you. Everyone, please connect it through the webinar, and then after we are going to continue for 2 hours. Okay, there will be no break after that. So we'll continue the session sharp at 95. Okay, so stay connected. Hello everyone. So sorry for the delay with 5 minutes. We are going to start the session right now. So most probably voice is okay and each and everything the other parts is also okay. My voice is audible. My voice is audible. Yes. Okay. So we have discussed certain important points regarding the place of supply. Okay. We had covered the section number 12 of IGST Act, section number 12 till section number 12, subsection 13 that we had already covered. Now we are going to start our discussion on the section number 12, subsection 14, which is also very much important. Already star marks is there, and this section is also important. So, if someone is going to provide the advertisement services to central government, state government, statutory body, local authority meant for the state and union territory identified in contract or agreement, in that case, what will be the place of supply? Each of the state and union territory where the advertisement is broadcasted, played, and so in that case, when someone is going to provide the advertisement services to central government, state government, local authority, union territory. Suppose I have an advertisement agency, and through that agency, if I am going to provide the services to various state government, central government, statutory, local authority, in that case, how we are going to decide the place of supply? Because I am going to provide the advertisement services to different states, to different local authorities, to different statutory bodies. In that case, we need to decide the value of supply as per the proportionate decided in the agreement. If there is agreement, in that case, we need to take reference of that particular agreement. Whenever you are going to do the audit of any advertisement agency, and if that particular agency is going to provide the advertisement services to central government, state government, in that case, first you need to demand the agreement between the central state government and that particular advertisement agency, so that we got that idea about the mutual terms between these two entities. Okay, now question is that if there is no agreement is available, in that case, how we are going to decide the place of supply? So for that purpose, we are going to take multiple situations, and on the basis of those multiple situation and multiple scenarios, we are going to decide the place of supply. So the first situation is advertisement in newspaper and publication. Suppose someone is going to provide the services to the central government, state government, local authority, union territory regarding the publication in the newspaper and various publications. In that case, what will be the place of supply? So amount payable for publishing and advertisement in all the edition of a newspaper and publication which are published in each state and union territory. Suppose total amount is 1 crore rupees, and the distribution is for Gujarat 10 lakh rupees, for Maharashtra 60 lakh rupees, for Rajasthan 10 lakh rupees, for Tamil Nadu 20 lakh rupees. This that is what is the distribution of the amount. So in that case, if the the supply is related to supply of services related to advertisement in newspaper and publication, in that case, amount paid to those newspaper and publications agency, in this ratio we are going to decide our place of supply. That is what is the concept. Now we are going to take our next scenario. Advertisement through printed material like pamphlet, diaries, calendars, t-shirts, etc. In that case, what will be the place of supply? So amount payable for the distribution of a specific number of such material in each state and union territory. Suppose for distributing these material, I am going to pay Rajasthan 10 lakh rupees, to Maharashtra 20 lakhs rupees, to Tamil Nadu 50 lakh rupees. So whatever amount I am going to pay to different states for distribution of those printing materials, in that case, we need to distribute the amount payable in this ratio. Okay, now next, advertisement on hoardings other than those on trains. advertisement on hoardings other than those on trains, in that case what will be the place of supply? हम लोग देखते हैं there are certain hoardings on the various roads, okay, and these hoardings are various states. In that case what will be the place of supply? So for that purpose, amount payable for the holdings located in each state and union territory. So abhi tak we had discussed three situations, and in all these three situations we had decided the place of supply on the basis of amount payable to different states for doing this advertisement. That will be the ratio. Now, advertisement on trains. Amount attributable to each state and union territory calculated in the ratio of length of railway track in each state and union territory. Now, suppose railway railway के अंदर if there is any holdings, if there is holdings on the railway platforms in rails, in that case what will be the place of supply? So for rails, वो तो राजस्थान से चलती है, महाराष्ट्र में जाती है, तमिलनाडु होकर के जाती है. इन दैट केस हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू डिसाइड द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई? सो in the ratio of length of the railway track in particular state will be decided according to the place of supply. Suppose 5000 meters is in Rajasthan, 5000 meters is in Rajasthan, 10,000 meters is in Gujarat, 15,000 meters is in Bangladesh. In that case, according to the length of that trek in that particular state, we are going to distribute the place of supply. We are going to decide the place of supply accordingly. Now, किसी के मन में ये वाला क्वेश्चन आ रहा होगा. Most probably there is chances that there is a question. So there is question that how we are going to distribute that place of supply. So there is no question for distribution of the place of supply. There is distribution regarding the amount. Okay, how we are going to decide the place of supply for this specific amount. Suppose to that advertising agency, central government, state government is going to pay 1 crore rupees. In that case, how we are going to decide the value that for this value IGST should be charged, this value CGST should be charged, this value SGST should be charged. For deciding that particular term, we need to bifurcate the amount according to the place of supply. Hence, we are going to decide the place of supply. Now, next situation. And I am just going to explain the example in verbal. The same example is there. Okay. So, don't take it when you got the study material, and if you have the study material, you just need to go through that example. We had already covered verbally. Next. Advertisement on back of utility bill, oil gas companies. If you got your electricity bill, in the back side of the electricity bill there are certain advertisements are also available for the various schemes of the central government, state government. In that case what will be the ratio for deciding the place of supply? For that, amount payable to each state and union territory for advertisement on the bills. So in that case also the place of supply will be decided according to the amount payable to the state regarding for that advertisement on the back side of that utility bill of oil and gas companies and electricity bills. Now, advertisement on railway tickets. If you when we are going to buy certain railway tickets, e-railway tickets or manual or physical railway tickets, in that case we found that on the back side of that railway ticket there are certain advertisements are also there, okay, regarding government schemes, regarding the COVID vaccine and all that. In that case how we are going to distribute and how we are going to decide the place of supply in this situation? So for that purpose, amount attributable to each state and union territory calculated in the ratio of number of railway stations. In the ratio of number of railway station in each state and union territory. Suppose 5 state railway stations are going to use this particular advertisement. In that case, on the basis of those number of railway stations, we are going to decide the place of supply. Okay, so these are the techniques from which we are going to decide the place of supply, and all these situations are practical, taken from the practical case study. So all these things are very much relevant when you got that particular client, when you got that particular bulk. These situations are really very much helpful for you. Now, next situation, advertisement on radio stations. If central government, state government, local authority is going to take the services of advertisement on radio stations, in that case, amount payable to such a radio station, which by virtue of the name is part of each state and union territory. That means amount payable to such radio station will be treated as the place of supply. Next, advertisement on channel televisions. Amount attributable to each state union territory calculated on the basis of viewership of such channel each state and union territory. So how we are going to distribute and how we are going to decide the place of supply? So for deciding the place of supply on the advertisement on the television channels, we are going to calculate the same through the viewership. We need to check the viewership. Okay, we need to take the viewership, and through that viewership we are going to decide the place of supply. Now how we are going to decide, or how we are going to decide the viewership के particular state में ये particular viewership है. So for that purpose there are certain technical parameters are also there are certain softwares are there, and with the help of those technical softwares we are going to decide the same. Although certain example related techniques are there, viewership can be decided from the channel viewership figures. You can go through the technical software, and figures for the last week of the given quarter will be calculated. Okay, that is what is the technical part that will be generated from the software. So our basic purpose for our client handling purposes, for our litigation handling purposes, we just need to know, in case of advertisement of television channels, the place of supply will be decided according to the viewership. And how we are going to calculate the viewership? For that purpose we are going to take the help of various technical softwares which is generated from that particular industry. So next, advertisement in cinema hall. How we are going to decide that place of supply? When we are going to watch the movie, at the beginning of the movie there are 3 to 4 advertisement. At the time of interval there are 10 to 15 advertisements are there. So in that case, how we are going to decide the place of supply? So the amount payable to the cinema hall or screen, in this ratio we are going to decide the place of supply. So place of supply will be decided through the amount payable. Next, advertisement on internet. It is deemed that such services is provided all over India. When I am going to provide any advertisement on internet or on social media, in that case, this is deemed that this information is to be floated throughout the India. In that case, amount attributable to each state and union territory calculated basis the internet subscribers in each state and union territory. So that will be distributed according to the subscribers of internet. Suppose if you are going to provide any services on the official YouTube channel of Batuk Consultancy, in that case they are going to calculate the same through the various subscribers of the Batuk Consultancy on throughout the India. उसको state में distribute करेंगे, and accordingly we are going to decide the place of supply. And again, how we are going to get the figures of the subscribers from each state? This is a technical term. There are certain reports generated from those particular software, those particular technical aspects. So we are going to generate those reports, and on the basis of those reports we are going to decide the place of supply. Next example, I am just going to take this scenario so that whenever there will be any practical situation in your hand, in that case you can easily identify the things, you can easily identify the place of supply, you can easily check the compliances. Okay, advertisement through SMS. Amount attributable to each state and union territory calculated on the basis of telecommunication, yet telecom subscribers in each state and union territory, and telecom subscriber report can be generated through the technical softwares. So this is the special situation, this is the specific situation which is related to your advertisement services to central government, state government, union territory, approx 14 situations, different examples we had covered. This advertisement services is okay for each and everyone. Just comment me in the chat box, because sir, those who are watching this video live, we have the opportunity to interact with each other. Okay, those who are going to watch this video in recorded version, they are not eligible or they are not able to interact in live manner. So this is my request. Whatever will be the number of participants currently now, I just request to everyone that this advertisement concept is okay for you or not. Just confirm me once. With that, we are going to complete it. We had already completed the complete concept of our place of supply. Just once comment me in the chat box. Section number 13 of IGST Act, that is place of supply of services where the location of supplier and the location of recipient is outside India. In that case, the same will be treated as your export. And accordingly, IGST should be charged. So, if Sachin is going to make any supply of services or goods outside India, in that case, that will be treated as export? No. For treating this as export, we need to mandatorily fulfill certain conditions. First, supplier is in India. In this situation, Sachin is in India. Recipient outside India. So, recipient is outside India. Amount received is in forex. That means amount is to be received in foreign currency. That is what is the main condition. So in that case, if Sachin is not going to get the foreign currency from outside India, in that case, that will not be treated as export. But there is certain situations in which RBI has given certain permissions, that in that case, if the amount is received in Indian currency, then also the same is to be treated as export. So that will be depend on situation to situation, and for that purpose, specific permission from Reserve Bank of India is to be taken. So that is what is the concept of export. And in case of place outside India, how we are going to decide the place of supply? So the same principle is applicable of section 12 if the related to immobile property. In that case, the location of immobile property will be treated as place of supply. Related to actual performance of any event or performance based services, in that case, the location where the event or the actual performance has been done, that place will be treated as the place of supply. So all these things are there in section number 13, which has already covered the similar provision as good as the section number 12. So this is my request to you. Just read out these provisions from the book. If you have any doubt, if you have any question, then we may connect or we may discuss, although there is no chance of any question or any doubt, because the same language, the same provisions are there, because situations are same and we need to decide the place of supply according to the situation. So with that, we had completed our place of supply wala concept. And this is also a very important. I need to discuss on certain other points also regarding place of supply. So we are going to discuss on that. Now, this is the point. Online information data access and retrieval services, section number 13, subsection number 12, जिसको short के अंदर we are saying that OIDAR, online information and database access retrieval services. In that case, what will be the accounting we need to decide? So Now, what do you mean by that online information and databases and access and retrieval services? The place of supply in case of online information database access and retrieval services is the location of the recipient of the service. Now, your question is that what do you mean by that OIDAR services? For deciding or for reading the language of OIDAR services, I just want to first read the language from the definition part, and then after we'll discuss from this, so that it will be more convenient, and after that we'll take the practical example also. Online information database access and retrieval services means services whose delivery is mediated by the information technology. As the name suggests, information and database access and retrieval services, that means all those services which are performed through the help of information technology. So over the internet and the electronic network, and the nature of which renders this supply essentially automated and involving minimal human intervention and impossible to ensure in the absence of information technology, includes in electronic services such as, that means online information database as access and retrieval services means all those services which are mediated through the information technology, and this is not possible to provide these type of services without help of information technology. Those services are called as your online information database access and retrieval services. There are certain examples are there regarding those services, like advertising on the internet, providing cloud services, provisions of ebook, movie, music, software, providing data and information, online supply of digital content, data, digital storage, and online gaming. All these types of services are covered under the definition of your online database access and retrieval services, OIDAR. Okay, so services okay hai, and the concept of OIDAR is okay. Now, what will be the place of supply in case of OIDAR services, online information and database retrieval services? We are going to discuss from the language of law. So, in case of online information database access and retrieval services, the place of supply will be the location of the recipient of service. Suppose if I am taking certain online services, in that case, the location of mine will be treated as the place of supply, and IGST, CGST, SGST accordingly charged. So now it is difficult to determine the location of the recipient, because ऑनलाइन मैं कहीं से भी कुछ भी एक्सेस कर रहा हूं, so each and every situation में department is not going to check the IP address and location of that particular person. So in that case, OIDAR as such recipient normally access the services online and are not required to disclose their locations. Also in our mobile software, when we are going to open any application, they are asking that you are going to provide your location. If we are not going to provide the location, the application is running. It, we just need not to take the certain examples, because in certain examples application is required, or location is mandatory for running that particular exam application, but in other situations or other applications location is not mandatory condition. So in that case, recipient location is not recorded at the record of that particular supplier. So in that case, how we are going to decide the place of supply? So for that purpose, to the explanation to subsection 12 lays down 7 conditions. On satisfying any two non-contradictory conditions out of such 7 conditions, the service recipient is deemed to be located in the taxable territory, that is India. There are 7 conditions are there, and if the particular recipient is following any two conditions, in that case we can say that recipient is in India. Okay, we are not going to treat the same as export, because if we are going to treat the same as an export, in that case what will be the scenario, what will be the situation? The same is to be considered as export, no GST. So for that purpose, in case of online information database access and retrieval services, there is specific 7 conditions are there. If you are going to follow any two conditions from these 7 conditions, in that case the recipient will be treated as the recipient is in India. So the recipient gives an Indian address through internet, This is the full proof. The payment is settled by an Indian debit card, Indian credit card, other card. The recipient has an Indian billing address. The computer other device used by the recipient has an Indian IP address. The recipient uses an Indian bank account for payment. The country code of the subscriber identity module card used by the recipient of service is of India. The recipient receives the services through an Indian fixed line. These seven conditions are there, and if someone is going to follow any two condition from these seven conditions, in that case we can say that the place of supply is in India, that is recipient is in India, and accordingly we need to decide the place of supply. So in case of OIDAR services, first we need to decide the place of the recipient, and there are seven conditions for that. And if the particular recipient is going to follow any two conditions from these seven conditions, in that case we can say the recipient is in India. Now, notified services. In order to prevent double taxation, non-taxation of supply of any service, Section 13, subsection 13 empowers the government to notify any service for which the place of supply shall be the place of effective use and enjoyment of services. There are certain specific services are also there, and in case of those services the place of supply will be the place of effective use and enjoyment of those services. Okay, so research and development related to pharmaceutical sector, integrated discovery and development, integrated development, evaluation of the efficiency of new chemical biological entities, evaluation of biological activities, drug metabolism and new chemical entities. All these types of notified services, safety assessment, stability studies, bioequivalence, clinical trials and bioanalytical sticks, these are the specific notified services. In that case the place of supply will be the place of effective use and enjoyment of services. Where these services are used and enjoyed, that place will be treated as the place of supply. That is what is the definition of section number 13, subsection 13. For that purpose I will share with you certain relevant examples also, okay, so that it will be more clear in your mind regarding R&D, research and development related services, जहां पर वो R&D हुआ है, जहां पर उसका इफेक्टिव यूज होगा एंड द एंजॉयमेंट होगा, दैट प्लेस विल बी ट्रीटेड एज द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई. ओके, सपोज R&D रिगार्डिंग द कोविड वैक्सीन चाइना के अंदर हुआ, अमेरिका के अंदर हुआ या फिर इंडिया के अंदर हुआ, whatever will be the place of effective use or enjoyment of that COVID vaccine, that will be treated as the place of supply. Suppose that COVID vaccine is going to use in Jodhpur, Rajasthan for treating the patients. In that case, the place of supply will be Jodhpur, Rajasthan. The Although the R&D has already done at China or America, but the effective use is in India, Jodhpur, Rajasthan. In that case, we are going to decide the place of supply accordingly. I will share with you certain more examples regarding that. So, place of supply. When research and development services related to pharmaceutical sectors as specified in column number 2 and 3 of serial number 1 to 10 of this table are supplied by a person located in taxable territory to a person located in non-taxable territory, the place of supply shall be the location of recipient of service subject to fulfillment of certain conditions. That means, suppose on the basis of research and development and pharmaceutical drug is innovated by Indian pharmaceutical agency, and they are going to sell that particular R&D related service, they are going to provide that R&D related service to outside India. In that case, organizer is in India, that is taxable territory, and the buyer is in outside India. In that case, if you are going to follow these two mandatory conditions, in that case the place of supply will be the location of recipient, that is in non-taxable territory. So in that case the same is to be treated as export of service. Okay, so these are very small points, very minor points, but their effects are really very huge and very high and very effective. These provisions are really very effective from revenue planning, for taxation planning, for GST implementation, for compliances point of view. So what are the two mandatory conditions? Supply of services from the taxable territory is provided as per the contract between the service provider located in taxable territory and service recipient located in non-taxable territory. So there is required one contract. Such supply of services fulfill all other condition in the definition of export of service except the condition of place of supply is outside India. In that case, that will be treated as your place of supply is in a non-taxable territory. These conditions are there. So this is the specific point regarding online information database access and retrieval services. R&D related point we had covered. And for place of supply, determining place of supply in case of online information database access and retrieval services, we have total 7 conditions. If the recipient is going to follow any 2 conditions, in that case the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. That is what is the condition. Okay, now there are certain specific clarification on place of supply which is issued by the government by through certain circulars. So, place of supply in case of satellite launch services. If someone is going to, if ISRO is going to launch the satellite, in that case, what will be the place of supply? So, circular number 2/2017 IGST dated 27/9/2017 has clarified that the place of supply of satellite launch services supplied by ANT RIX Corporation Limited, a wholly owned government of India company, to international customers would be outside India in terms of Section 9, Section 13, subsection 9, and such supply which meets the requirement of Section 2, subsection 6 will constitute export of service and shall be zero rated in accordance with the Section 16.1. That means if someone is going to satellite launch services, this point, this clarification is specifically related to a particular situation. Okay, so this is applicable for a particular situation only. If there is any similar situation, then we can argue with reference to this circular. Okay, so in this, the Indian company is going to provide the satellite launch services to outside India. That will be treated as your export and IGST should be charged. Next, place of supply in respect of various cargo handling services provided by ports to clients. In that case, what will be the place of supply? The port authorities provides various services to its clients in relation to cargo handling. Some of such services are in respect of arrival of wagons at port, wagon inside port area up to the place of uploading, siding of wagons inside the port, unloading of wagons, movement of unloaded cargo to plot and stacking thereof, movement of unloaded cargo to bridge and shipment and loading and vessels. These types of services are there. Circular number 103/22/2019 GST dated 28th June 2019 has clarified that such services are ancillary to or related to cargo handling services and are not related to immobile property, because they are just going to provide the handling services. They are going to take the parcels, they are going to siding that parcel, they are going to store the parcels at the warehouse. All these services are provided. So accordingly, the place of supply of such services will be determined as per the provision of content in section number 12 subsection 2 or 13 subsection 2 as the case may be, depending upon the terms of the contract between the supplier and recipient. We are going to decide. Okay, so we need to decide the same from the journal principles. That is, if the recipient is registered, in that case, the place of recipient. If we have the address, in that case, that address will be treated as place of supply. And if we have no address, in that case, the place of supplier will be treated as the place of supply. Okay, so that is what is the case study. 2 case study we had already done. Third number case study is pending. We will discuss it in a later case with one example so that it will be more clear in your mind. So, time of supply we had already covered in our yesterday session. So, conclusively we can say in our today's session till now we had covered the complete concept of place of supply. That is, we had started our discussion on section number 10 of IGST Act, certain basic points. Okay, whenever there is a movement of goods where the delivery terminates, that will be the place of supply. When there is no movement of goods, in that case at the time of delivery the location of goods will be the place of supply. In case of bill to ship to model, billing address will be the place of supply. In case of installation, the place of installation will be the location of supply. All these things we had already covered. After that we had started our discussion on the export and import. In case of import, we are going to charge IGST under reverse charge mechanism. In case of export, this is a zero rated supply and treated as interest rate supply. After that, we had started our discussion on section number 12 of IGST Act, which is very much important from place of supply point of view. And in that case, हमने ये decide किया, if the recipient is registered, GSTN will be the place of supply. If the recipient is not registered, in that case, the address which is available in the records of supplier will be the place of supply. And if there is no address is available in the records of supplier, in that case, the location of supplier will be treated as the place of supply. Okay, and if you are not able to decide the place of supply from these points, in that case we need to take the reference of various specific situations related to immobile property, related to transportation of passenger, related to transportation of goods. In case of banking company, in case of insurance company, we had taken multiple examples related to advertisement services to central government, state government, local authority, union territory, and also we had covered the online information database access retrieval services, and also we had talked on certain important points related to various circular in case of satellite services and in case of handling services on the port, and that will be treated as supply of services. Okay, so just comment me in the chat box that the place of supply, the concept of place of supply is okay for you, so that we can take our next topic, that is value of supply. And recap आपको कैसा लगा? We had recap the complete concept of the place of supply within just 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, just I am waiting for your reply. प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई थोड़ा सा क्रिटिकल है. In case of place of supply, there is certain penalties are there. So for this is my humble request, you just need to take certain practical examples, certain practical case studies for better knowledge of that place of supply. And if you found any problem, any issue to solve any particular case study, particular situation, in that case you may connect with me over call, or you may send the question in the WhatsApp group, will solve the same. Okay, so this is your task for understanding the place of supply. And multiple time while doing the assessment, while filing GSTR 9 and 9C, we are not going to give more importance to our place of supply. We are just going to give the importance to value of supply. We are going to check the input tax credit. When any case is going to handle by the departmental authority for scrutiny and audit, they are just going to check, maximum time they are just going to check the input tax credit, blocked credit ye hai, there is difference between 2A 2B, there is difference between e-way bill portal and e-invoice. I am not going to say that you should not check these things. You must check these things, but with that you just need to know the concept of time of supply. You need to check the things related to time of supply. They just need to check the things related to value of supply. They just need to check the things related to place of supply. Okay, and this is, as a professional, this is also our responsibility at the time of filing of returns of our client, at the time of filing of GSTR 9 and 9C of our client. We also need to file this in a correct way, so that at the time of departmental audit, at the time of scrutiny, at the time of business audit, at the time of any litigation, we all are in situation to provide the reply in a specific way. Is that okay? So now we are going to start our next topic, that is value of supply, and which is also a very important topic. So before starting the same, I just want to share the brief concept of this value of supply, and then after we are going to read the same from the language of law. So when we had started our journey, we had talked about the supply, then after we had discussed about the time of supply, and we had also covered the place of supply. Now question is that for which amount you are going to decide the place of supply, for which amount you are going to decide the time of supply, for which amount on which you are going to charge the GST. That is what is also an important question. Suppose your liability is to pay tax on 15,000 rupees, and you are going, if you have no knowledge regarding the value of supply, the valuation rules, in that case you may pay the taxes on 10,000 rupees, or you may pay the taxes on 25,000 rupees. So both the situations are dangerous. So we need to check that the value of supply is okay or not. Whatever will be the value declared by the taxpayer is correct or not, or there is, if there is any deficiency, if there is any issue regarding to the provisions of law, in that case also we need to connect with our tax payer that there is certain issues. So for that purpose we are coming with this topic on value of supply. Okay, so how we are going to decide? Suppose you just need to understand the concept. If you got the concept, in that case this is my guarantee to you, when we are going to start our discussion on the language of law, each and everything related to language of law will be clear in your mind. There will be no issue regarding that, and you can use the same at the time of your practical implication. So first situation I am going to take, in that Sachin is going to Reliance Mall. I am going to Reliance Mall to buy something. Okay, in that case, I am going to Reliance Mall, and uh, in that case, from that Reliance Mall, I am going to buy one television. I am going to buy one television. In that case, suppose the value of that television is 1 lakh rupees. The value of that television is 1 lakh rupees. I am going to pay 1 lakh rupees to Reliance Mall, and Reliance Mall is also charging GST on that particular amount. Suppose the GST is at the rate of 18%. I am going to pay total amount of 1 lakh 18,000 rupees to Reliance Mall for that TV. In that case, what will be the value of supply? So in that case, I am going to pay 18,000 on this 1 lakh rupees. That means the value of supply will be that 1 lakh rupees, and we can say this is the transaction value. This is the transaction value on which Reliance Mall is also charging GST from me. So this transaction value is correct or not? That is what is the question. So for that purpose, section number 15 subsection 1 of CGST Act is there. And section number 15 subsection 1 of CGST Act says that your transaction value will be the value of supply. That means that 1 lakh rupees will be the value of supply if you are going to fulfill two basic conditions. First condition, buyer and supplier is not a related party. So in that case, Mukesh Ambani ji मेरे कोई relative नहीं है. So buyer and supplier is not the related party. Reliance Mall and Sachin Jain का यहाँ पर कोई भी relation नहीं है. So we can say buyer and supplier is not the related party. Next, price is the sole consideration. That means I just going to pay that 1 lakh rupees plus GST to Reliance for buying that particular television. इसके अलावा I am not going to make any payment to that Reliance Mall. So in this particular situation, in this transaction, these two conditions are satisfied, that buyer and supplier are not the related party and price is the sole consideration. In that case, we can say that the transaction value will be the value of supply. Okay, now suppose Reliance is saying the price of TV is 1 lakh rupees, and we are going to charge the transportation charges 5,000 rupees. Also there is charges regarding loading and unloading. Suppose 500 rupees. Also there is charges for handling, 500 rupees. Also there is charges for installation, suppose 4000. In that case the total price of value will be 1,10,000 rupees. So in this specific situation, if there is any expenditure which is made by that particular supplier, that is Reliance Small, on account of that particular supply, that is television, in that case all those expenditure will be the part of the value of supply. So in that case all the expenditure, that is transportation expenditure, loading expenditure, handling expenditure, installation expenditure, all these expenditure will be part of my value of supply. So in that case what is the value of supply? So value of supply will be your 1,10,000 rupees, and Reliance Small is going to charge 18% GST on that 1,10,000 rupees. So that is what is the concept of section number 15, subsection 2. Is that okay? Section number 15 subsection 1 says that your transaction value will be the value of supply if the buyer and supplier is not the related party and price is the sole consideration. Section number 15 subsection 2 says all the expenditure related to the particular supply, that will be part of the value of supply, excluding the GST loss related, all taxes are not being the part of that particular transaction value. So this is the basic concept. Now we are going to read the same from the language of law. So section number 15 subsection 1 says the value of supply of goods and services are both shall be the transaction value, which is the price actually paid and payable for the said supply of goods and services, or the both, where the supplier and recipient are not related party and price is the sole consideration. That means two mandatory conditions are there: supplier and recipient are not the related party and price is the sole consideration. In that case the transaction value will be the value of supply. That is what is the concept of section number 15 subsection 1. Now, section number 15, subsection 2 says the value of supply shall include all taxes, duties, cess, fees, charged, levied under any law for the time being in force other than this act. This act means other than GST Act. All the taxes, all the cess which is charged under GST, that will not form part of your transaction value. But other than these act, all the other taxes, other cess, other fees will be the part of your value of supply. Also, if any amount that the supplier is liable to pay in relation to such supply but which has been incurred by the recipient of supply and not included in the price actually paid or payable for the goods or services, that will also be the part of supply and we need to add the same. If there is any incidental expenditure, commission, packing, loading, unloading charges, that will be the part of value of supply. Interest, late fees or penalty for delayed payment, which will also be the value of supply. For that purpose, in our yesterday session, at the time of our discussion on time of supply, at the time we are going to discuss about section number 12 subsection 5 regarding addition on account of interest and penalty, we are going to take the same. So for that purpose, interest and late fees will be added in the value of supply, and due to that addition we are going to pay the tax on that interest and late fees also. So is that okay? Now, one more important point is there. There are two types of interest are there. There is no GST on interest. चलो इसको चार्ट के फॉर्म में समझो. There are two types of interest are there. On one type of interest, no GST. On second type of interest, GST. What is the difference between these two types of interest? When the interest on account of money only, because we are not going to charge any GST on money and securities, because these are not fall under the definition of goods. So in that case, when the interest in on account of money part, suppose Mr. Kishore ji has 10 lakh rupees, उनके पास में 10 लाख रुपए फ्री पड़े हैं, तो I am going to Kishore ji that sir please give me 10 lakh rupees on that is on interest. Okay, and in that case I am going to pay 15,000 rupees monthly interest to Mr. Kishorji, and Kishorji has the GSTN. This interest income is only due to that amount, that money, hence there is no GST. That interest should be treated as financial interest. And suppose in next situation, I am a businessman, and I had made certain supply to Mr. X for 10 lakh rupees, and I am going to say to that person that you need to make the payment within 3 months, and if you are not going to make the payment in 3 months, in that case I am going to charge 12% interest. And if there is any delay in payment by Mr. X, in that case, I am going to charge that interest. And that interest is not only due to money. That interest is due to our agreement. And the agreement is only on the behalf of supply of that particular goods. So that interest is due to the goods. So we can say that this interest is your trade interest, and on that GST will be applicable. Is that okay? So there are two types of interest are there. Now, whether there is any GST will be applicable on penal interest or not, that is what is the question. So we are going to discuss the practical scenario, and with that practical scenario I am going to explain the situation. Suppose I want to buy one car, and for buying that particular car I am going to Mr. X जिसकी agency है, who is the agency, who is the dealer of the cars. I am going to that particular person and I am saying that, sir, I want to buy that particular car, and I just want that I want to take this car on loan, and I am not going to take the loan. You just need to finance that car. You just need to take the loan. So in that case, suppose I am going to take the same from chart so that it will be more easy. Sachin, car dealer. I want to buy car. In that case, I am going to that particular car dealer and I am saying that I want to buy this car, and for that purpose I am not going to take any type of loan. So in that case, car dealer is going to take the finance facility from one financing company, MSY. Okay, that particular car dealer is going to take the finance. So in that case, suppose if I am not going to make the payment of the installment for a particular month, I am not going to make the payment of installment, or I am going to make the installment in delay. In that case, there is certain interest is charged by that particular car dealer. In that case, that interest will be treated as trade interest, and on that particular type of interest, GST will be charged. That means car dealer has to charge GST on that particular type of interest. Okay, because I am just going to buy that particular car from car dealer, and car dealer is going to arrange the finance facility. In that case, that delay in installment is on account of that particular car. Hence, in that case, interest is to be charged. Now, take the next example. I want to buy that particular car. मैं उस कार डीलर के पास जाता हूँ, and I am saying to that particular car dealer that I want to buy that particular car, and I have Bajaj Finance, and I am going to take finance from Bajaj. I am going to take the amount from Bajaj Finance, and I will make the payment, or on my behalf Bajaj Finance is going to make the payment to you. In that case, I had taken the loan from Bajaj Finance. In that case, if there is any default in making the payment, or if there is any delay in making the payment, in that case we can say this interest is only due to the financial transaction with between me and the Bajaj Finance Limited. In that case, we can say this is a finance interest and no GST will be chargeable. So just comment me in the chat box that these two situations are clear in your mind regarding the penal interest. If the penal interest, if I had bought certain things and the counterparty has taken the loan or arranged the finance, and after that if I am not going to make the payment on time and is there is interest, in that case that interest will be treated as trade interest. But if I am going to take the loan and from that loan I am going to pay the amount to that particular dealer, and if there is any default in making the payment to that particular finance agency, and in that case if finance agency is going to charge any type of interest, in that case I am not liable to pay any type of interest. That is, I am liable to pay the interest, but there is no implication of GST because that interest is only due to the finance terms. This example is okay for each and everyone. Just comment me in the chat box so that we can discuss the next point. I am just expecting reply from each and everyone. Okay, so the next point, section number 15, subsection 3, we are going to take regarding discount. So interest related point is okay, and then for deciding the value of supply, your transaction value will be the value of supply. If there is no relation between the recipient and the supplier, and the price is sole consideration, and all the things which we need to add in our value of supply, we had already covered. Now, the point is that section number 15, subsection 3 talks about the terms of discount. We are going to discuss on that also. What we need to specifically do for that particular discount. So discount, suppose there are two types of discounts are there. One is trade discount, another is financial discount. The terms related to discount, if the terms related to discount has already been decided, already been defined before making the supply, before the invoice, or at the time of invoice. In that case, we can say that the discount is to be treated as your trade discount and GST adjustment should be permissible. Suppose when I am going to make a particular supply and at that time मैंने वहां पर कोई discount दे दिया, I had provided certain discount of 10% rupees, 10%. Okay, suppose the value is 1 lakh rupees and I am going to give a discount of 10%, that is 10,000 rupees. In that case, the GST will be charged only on 90,000 rupees because the discount is given at the time of invoice or before invoice. That will be treated as trade discount. But financial discount, suppose after making the particular invoice after 6 months, if there is any discount, in that case that discount will be treated as a financial discount. In that case, you can reduce the value. Suppose in this specific case 10% discount is there, that is 10,000 rupees. So the value will be 90,000 rupees and GST will be charged on that 90,000 rupees. In case of financial discount, at the time of making the supply value was 1 lakh rupees, I had paid GST at the rate of 1,18,000 rupees will be the total value. In that case, suppose after 6 months, due to any quality difference, and there is certain issues or certain payment terms, there is any discount. Suppose I am going to provide a discount of 10,000 rupees. In that case, the term was not decided at the time of invoice or before the invoice. So in that case, that discount is merely the financial discount. I just need to reduce the figure, that is 10,000 rupees from that, but I cannot reduce the GST figure. I had already paid 18,000 GST. I am not going to take any benefit of that GST. I just need to reduce the figure from taxable value. For that purpose, I am eligible because this is a financial discount. I cannot adjust the same from the GST figures. That is what is the concept of discount. Two types of discounts are there. For that, the terms has already been decided at the time of invoice or before invoice, and if the same is not decided at the time of invoice or before invoice, in that case the discount will be the financial discount. Just read the language from the section. Section number 15, subsection 3. The value of supply shall not include any discount which is given before or at the time of supply if such discount has been duly recorded in the invoice issued in respect of such supply. In that case, you can do. After the supply has been affected, such discount is established in terms of an agreement entered into or at the time of such supply. If there is any particular agreement is available, suppose at the time of making the supply, there is a specific agreement that if Mr. X is going to make sale of particular quantity, support 10,000 unit, in that case, we are going to provide a discount of 10%. In that case, when Mr. X is going to sell 10,000 units, we are going to provide a discount of 10% due to the terms which has already been decided at the time of supply or before the supply, and that discount will be treated as your trade discount. For that discount, we can do the adjustment of GST. Input tax credit as is attributable to the discount on the basis of document issued by the supplier has been reversed by the recipient, and there is one more requirement that input tax credit has to be reversed by the recipient. Okay, that is what is the scenario of discount. If the terms has already been decided, in that case you can issue the trade discount, or if the discount is decided at the time or before the supply and the same as reflected in the invoice, in that case also we can adjust the GST figure. And in case of all other type of discounts, we cannot adjust the GST figures, we just need to adjust the taxable value. That is what is the specific meaning of section number 15, subsection 3. Now, we are going to discuss on certain important explanation. If person issued credit note regarding discount which is not determined before or at the time of supply, then supplier cannot reduce his output tax liability by issuing the credit note. The same language which we had covered, and that discount will be called as your financial credit note discount. Okay, terms like rate difference and special discount are also not included in the value given after supply, that is quantity discount, but supplier may issue credit note with GST. Case study related to trade discount. If trade discount given after supply, then it may be given by issuance of the credit note, because the terms has already been decided that you had sold that particular quantity. In that case, we are going to give you that particular discount. Trade discount are given on performance basis, hence allowed in future period. We had already covered this. Now, one important example or one important scenario is there regarding post sales discount. If someone is going to provide the discount post sales, that is after sales, in that case, what will be the provisions, what will be the situation, what will be the scenario for the discount? We need to discuss on that. So, for post sales discount, dealer is not required to do any particular further act. Suppose if I am a supplier and I am going to make a particular quantity of sales to a Mr. X who is my dealer, and in that case, if that post sales discount के साथ I am not going to imposing any condition on that particular dealer, I am just going to give that particular dealer that particular type of discount. In that case, if the discount is known at the time of before the supply, in that case, credit note can be issued with GST adjustment. But if the discount is not known before or at the time of supply, in that case, credit note can be issued, that is financial credit note, no GST adjustment will be there. So basic theme which we had already discussed regarding post sales discount, if there is no any liability on the dealer to do any act, in that case, if the discount is known at the time of making of the supply, in that case that discount will be treated as your trade discount, and you can issue the credit note with GST effect. If the terms of that particular discount has not been decided at the time of supply or before making the supply, in that case that discount will be treated as financial discount, and in that case financial credit note will be issued, no GST adjustment will be there. Now, post sales discount का second part is that when dealer has to do certain act for taking that particular discount. If dealer wants that particular discount, in that case, dealer has to do certain activities. In that case, dealer is required to do further act for getting that particular discount, like sales promotion, special sales drive. All these type of expenditure is done by that particular dealer for getting that particular discount. In that case, dealer has to make invoice for such expense in favor of the supplier, and supplier shall get the input tax credit. No credit note, no debit note regarding discount is required, because there is condition involved. So for that purpose, जो भी expenditure, whatever the expenditure done by that particular dealer has to make the invoice with name of that particular supplier, and in that case take the payment for those expenditure from supplier, and supplier is eligible to get the input tax credit. That is what is the concept of post sales discount. No condition, in that case we had discussed. If there is any condition, in that case also we had discussed. Now, quantity discount. If any person buys 10 quantity of a particular product, and for that he will get 11 quantity of that product for the price of 10 quantity, then this is treated as trade discount, and this is allowed it, because terms has already been decided before making the supply. Buy one three one free. When you got the one product, at that time you already know that three products are free, and that will be treated as the trade discount. They are going to distribute the price in four products, and balance amount will be your discount. That is what is the concept they are going to follow. Okay, if you are going to getting the work of any this type of industry, like mall, like online platforms who are providing certain sales, buy one get one free, they are going to divide the price in two products, okay, and balance figure they are going to treat as discount, and take the benefit as a trade discount, because the terms has already been decided at the time of making the supply. That is what is the practical example for that discount. So section number 15 subsection 1 talks about the value of supply. Section number 15 subsection 2 talks about certain additions which we need to do for finding the value of supply, and section number 15 subsection 3 specifically deal with the terms discount, financial discount, and GST related discount, that is financial credit note and GST related credit note. Okay. So, and section number 15 subsection 4 says that if you are not able to decide the value of supply from these manners, because if there is situation in that the recipient and buyer is related party, and the price is not the sole consideration, in that case you cannot decide the value from section number 15 subsection 1. In that case you need to take the reference of various valuation rules, and there are multiple valuation rules from rule number 27 till rule number 32. So we are going to take reference of that also. So just confirm me once the basic provisions of section number 15 subsection 1 2 and 3 is okay for you, so that we can start our discussion on various valuation rules. I just want reply from each and everyone, not from just one to two participants. I want reply from each and every participant. So can we start the discussion on the rule number 27, 28, 29, 30, 31? Discount part is okay. If we are not able to decide the value of supply from the provisions of section, In that case, we may take the reference of variation rules. There are certain variation rules are available. On the basis of those rules, we need to decide the value of supply. So the first rule, rule number 27, will be applicable when there is the complete consideration not in money. Suppose I just want to buy one laptop, and for buying that particular laptop, if I am going to uh, give that particular supplier 10,000 rupees and one printer, in that case the complete consideration is not in money. In that case, how we are going to decide the value of supply? Because 10,000 rupees is the monetary condition, but we don't know the value of that particular printer. So how we can add these two things and decide the value of supply? That is what is the question. For that purpose, we need to take the reference of rule number 27, when the value of supply of goods and services, where the consideration is not only in money, where the supply of goods or services is for a consideration not only in money, the value of supply shall be first option, the open market value of such supply. Suppose I want to buy that particular laptop, and for that purpose I am giving 10,000 rupees and one printer. That is what is the example. So in that case, first option to decide the value of supply is the open market value of that particular supply. Suppose that particular laptop is available in market for 40,000 rupees. In that case, the value of supply will be 40,000 rupees. If the particular laptop is available in the market for 40,000 rupees, in that case the value of supply of that particular laptop will be 40,000 rupees. Second, if the open market value is not available, but you know the monetary condition consideration of that particular printer, suppose 10,000 I am going to give it cash, and the monetary consideration of that printer is 15,000 rupees. In that case, we just need to add these two figures, that is 25,000 rupees will be my value of supply. That is what is the point. So first option, if the open market value is available, in that case we are going to take that open market value. If the open market value is not available in the market, in that case the monetary consideration plus the money consideration which I am going to pay to that particular person plus the price of that printer, we are going to add these two figures and decide the value of supply. Third, if the value of supply is not determinable under clause A or B, the same value of supply of goods or services, both like kind, like quality, like quantity, is we are going to take as value of supply. Suppose the same laptop is not available in market and we are not able to decide the value of that printer. In that case, we have third option, that we can take the price of similar laptop. Market में similar laptop is available for 40,000 rupees और 35,000 rupees. Similar like quality है, like quantity भी होना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं हो कि we are going to compare one laptop with the price of 100 laptops. So we need to take care of quantity also, quality also, and same kind also. In that case, if the price of that similar laptop is 45,000 rupees, in that case we are going to take the value of supply as 45,000 rupees. And fourth, if you are not going to decide the value of supply from above 3 points, in that case you can take reference of the rule number 30 and 31. मैं आपको अभी एक सीक्रेट बता दूं क्या? I just want to tell you one secret, that our rule number 30 and 31 is the master key. Okay, if you are not able to open the particular lock from any key, in that case we have one master key, rule number 30 and 31, जिससे we can open each and every lock. Okay, so whenever there is a situation when there is a, for that particular supply there is money plus monetary consideration, in that case we have first option, open market value of that particular product. If open market value is not available, in that case money plus monetary value. If we are not going to decide the same from that, in that case the similar like kind, like quality or like quantity का product की value से we are going to decide the value of supply. And if we are not able to decide the value of supply from these three things, in that case we can take reference of rule number 30 and 31. That is what is the specific provision of rule number 27. Okay, now rule number 28, which is applicable in case of distinct person and related person. What do you mean by this distinct person and related person? Most probably we had already covered that distinct person and related person definition. Distinct person means same PAN number, different GSTN. Suppose my one office is in Rajasthan, another office is in Gujarat, another office is in Maharashtra. PAN number is same, GSTN is different. If I am going to make a particular supply from my Rajasthan office to my Gujarat office, in that case, what will be the place of supply? There is certain chances, कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं हो रहा है. There is certain chances because the same is covered under the definition of related party. और कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं हो रहा है कि कोई प्राइस मैं कम चार्ज कर दूं या फिर कहीं मैं प्राइस ज्यादा चार्ज कर लूं. That will be the situation. So for that purpose, we need to plan accordingly. So in that case, the first option is the open market value of such supply. Suppose I am going to transfer 10,000 television of from my Rajasthan office to my Gujarat office. In that case, first I need to take the value of supply as the open market value of that television. Whatever will be the open market value, I can take the same. If open market value is not available, in that case, I may take the value of supply of goods or services like kind, like quality, like quantity. So the first option is your open market value, and if the open market value is not available, in that case open market value available nahi hai, in that case the value of supply of goods or services like kind, like quantity we are going to take. So when I have one Rajasthan office, I have another office is in Gujarat, another office is in Maharashtra, and if I am going to make sales of any product from my one office to another office, in that case I need to take certain considerations. And how we are going to take the consideration? First one, to decide the value of supply is the open market value. If the open market value is not available, in that case the value will be like kind, like quantity. The value will be the open will be treated as the value of supply. So that will be treated as a value of supply. And if you are not going to decide the same from about 2 points, in that case we have the master rule, that is rule number 30 and 31. Okay, so first situation, rule number 27, we had discussed regarding the money plus monetary, and second situation, rule number 28, we had covered related distinct person and related party. Now, why this rule is there? Why there is requirement of this rule? अगर ऐसा rule नहीं होगा, suppose I have one office is in Rajasthan, another office is in Gujarat. If the same rule, rule number 28 is not there, in that case there is chances of manipulation. Suppose I have excess input tax credit in my Rajasthan office and I want to transfer that input tax credit to my Gujarat office. In that case, I may charge a high rate, and on that basis of high rate I may transfer my input tax credit to my Gujarat, and in that particular month if there is any amount payable in Gujarat office, in that case they may adjust the same from that particular input tax credit. So for this type of manipulations, government has come with the rule number 28, that in case of related party and distinct person, we need to decide the value of supply according to the provisions, that is open market value and same kind, same quality, like kind. And if you are not going to decide the same, in that case we need to take the reference of rule number 30 and 31. One more important point is there, provided further that where the recipient is eligible for full input tax credit, the value declared in the invoice shall be deemed to be the open market value of the goods or services. This line is there. So government is saying that if I am going to transfer that particular product to my Gujarat office and Gujarat is eligible for the full input tax credit, in that case there is no value. जो भी value पे आप transfer कर रहे हो, whatever will be the value declared by Mr. Sachin, that will be treated as the value of supply, because the counterparty is eligible for 100% input tax credit. But I am saying, in my opinion, there is manipulation possible. We had already taken that particular example, that if I have less amount of input tax credit, in that case I may send that particular goods at a less rate, so that the amount which is payable at my end will be less. So that is what is the scenario, how we can do the manipulation. These are the situation of manipulations. So we need to take care of it. Okay. So possibility of manipulation is there. Lower value may be shown in invoice so that minimum blockage of fund and some higher price charge to transfer and maximum utilization of input tax credit. That is what is the manipulation. So when we are going to check the data of that particular client at the time of business audit, at the time of GST and 9 and 9C, at the time of dealing with our client, we need to check the things that कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं हो रहा है, there is no situation in case of transfer between the distinct person and related party, and we need to check कि कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं हो रहा है कि there is payable situation in one entity and they are going to transfer that particular tax credit through the transfer of goods. So this may be possible, and we need to be very much careful for that. We need to identify these things through our analysis. If there is any transaction between related party and distinct person, we need to be very much careful for that. So next, rule number 29. Rule number 27 was applicable in case of money plus monetary. Rule number 28 was applicable in rule number 28 is applicable in case of distinct person and related party. I am going to repeat these concepts again and again, and the basic purpose of it is that you should memorize these concepts. All these things are set in your mind. Okay. Rule number 29 is there, value of supply of goods made or received through an agent. That means transaction between principal and agent. Suppose I am a principal, and if I am going to make supply of any particular product to my agent, in that case, what will be the value of supply? So for that purpose, the open market value will be the value of supply. Suppose I am going to transfer 50 pieces of mobile phone to my agent for selling in the domestic market. In that case, what will be the value of supply? In that case, the value of supply will be the open market value. Suppose the open market value of that particular mobile per mobile is 15,000 rupees. In that case, 15,000 multiplied by 50, whatever will be the total figure come, that will be treated as the value of supply. Now, one more option is available, or at the option of the supplier, be the 90% of the price charged for the supply of goods like kind, like quality by the recipient to his customer, not being a related person. That means first option is that open market value. Second option, suppose I am going to transfer that particular mobile phone to my agent. In that case, I may take the value of supply, the 90% of the value which is charged by that particular agent from the domestic market. Suppose the particular agent is going to sell that particular mobile phone or this type of mobile phone in the market at the rate of 20,000 rupees per mobile phone. In that case, I may take 90% of that 20,000 rupees. That means I may take 18,000 rupees as value of supply. These two options are in my hand. And if I am not going to opt these two options, in that case, the third option, the last option is that I can take reference of rule number 30 and rule number 31. So 28 was related, 27 was related to our money plus monetary. 28 was related to related party and distinct person. Rule number 29 is applicable in case of principal and agent supply. Now we are going to discuss on the master key, that is rule number 30. And rule number 30 is saying a very basic provision. When I am not able to decide the value of supply from rule number 27, 28, 29, in that case I need to take the reference of rule number 30. And how I can decide the value of supply from rule number 30 is very simple and basic principle, that suppose I am going to make supply of the particular product X. In that case, I have the option that I may do 110% of cost. Suppose for that particular product, costing at my end is 1 lakh rupees. In that case, 1 lakh 10,000 rupees will be the value of supply. If I am not able to decide from rule number 27, 28, 29, in that case, this is the rule, rule number 30. I can take reference of this rule. Okay, so This is the very basic principle. This is the very basic law, that when I am not able to decide from all these previous rules, in that case cost plus 10%, that is 10%, I can take as my value of supply. Next, rule number 31 is saying that when I am not able to decide the rule from the value from rule number 27 to 30, in that case, I may take the journal provisions of section number 15, and with reference of those journal provisions, I need to decide the value of supply. So residual method is not so useful for us. We have just section number 15 subsection 1. We are going to decide in normal cases. If the situation is not fall under the normal cases, in that case we have rule number 27, 28, 29, and 30 is the master key, which in which we are saying that we are not able to decide from the previous rules. In that case 10% of the cost will be the value of supply, and rule number 31 is saying that you are not able to decide from all those previous rules. In that case you need to decide the value from the provisions of section number 15 of CGST Act. That is what is the. So once confirm me in the chat box that the section number 15 subsection 1, 2, 3, 4 and rule number 27, 28, 29 and 30 and 31 is okay for you, so that we can take certain more important rules in our discussion in our today's session. Now, rule number 31A, which is specifically applicable in case of lottery, betting, gambling and horse racing. So this rule is also very much important regarding lottery, betting, gambling and horse racing. If someone is going to supply the particular things related to lottery, betting, gambling and horse racing, in that case what will be the value of supply, and for determining the value of supply in these specific situations we need to take the help of rule number 31A. So rule number 31 says the value of supply in case of lottery. Sir, this is specifically applicable in case of lottery, and in case of lottery the value of supply will be deemed to be 100 divided by 128 of the face value or the price notified in the official gazette, whichever is higher. That means you just need to do your face value multiplied by 100 divided by 128, or the price which is notified in the official gazette. In दोनों में से whichever is higher, that will be my value of supply in case of lottery. This is specific provision in case of lottery. In case of lottery I have two options: face value multiplied by 100 divided by 128, or official gazette price, whichever is higher will be my value of supply. So that is what is the basic principle in case of lottery. In case of actionable claim, so the value of supply will be the 100% of the face value will be treated as the value of supply. This is specifically applicable in case of actionable claims. One question is there: what is the treatment of discount in the hand of discount receiver? Okay, so we need to check the nature of the discount. If the discount is related to trade discount, that means discount related terms has already been defined at the time of supply or at the time of making the invoice, and the terms has already been decided. In that case, the supplier is going to issue the credit note with GST adjustment. That is, supplier is going to reduce the output tax liability. In that case, the recipient has to reverse the input tax credit. And I am using the word reverse the input tax credit. Please mark my word, because in many cases हम लोग क्या करते हैं, we are going to show net purchase, we are going to reduce that input tax credit related to that credit note, and we are going to show the net figure in the GSTR 3P return. This is wrong. We need to show the same in our reversal, other reversal tab in our GSTR 3P return. And if the discount is related to financial credit note, that is the terms has not been decided at the time of supply, in that case supplier is going to issue the financial credit note. That means supplier is just going to reduce the taxable value, not reducing the output tax liability. In that case, receiver need not to reverse any input tax credit in GSTR 3P return. That means basic concept is that when supplier is going to reduce the output tax liability, recipient has to reverse the same in GSTR 3P return by showing in other reversal tab. And if supplier is issue the financial credit note, in that case recipient not need to reverse any type of input tax credit. That is what is the point related to discount. Is that okay? So rule number 31 was specifically applicable for lottery. In case of lottery, the value of supply will be face value multiplied by 100 divided by 128, or the price published in the official gazette, whichever is higher. And in case of actionable claim, 100% of the face value will be treated as the value of supply. Now we have rule number 32, which is applicable in case of determination of value in respect of certain supplies. What is the nature of these certain supplies? Suppose bank is providing certain forex related services, foreign currency related services. Suppose I am from India and I am already from India, so I required certain foreign currency. For that purpose I am going to bank and I have 1 lakh rupees, and I am going to bank, the forex department of the bank, and I am saying to that particular person that I want to convert that 1 lakh rupees into dirham. Okay, in that case bank has to make the payment of taxes. What is the amount on which bank has to make the payment of taxes, and what will be the value of supply of service in the hands of bank, for which amount bank is going to pay taxes to the government, or for on which value bank is going to charge GST, whether on complete 1 lakh rupees, whether on the dirham converted from the Indian currency. No. So we need to calculate the service part of the bank for that particular transaction. For that purpose we have two options. That is, bank have two options to opt. Bank may adopt any one option, and accordingly bank has to charge GST on the value of supply of service, and bank has to decide the value of supply of service. So for that purpose, first option is that for currency when exchanged from or to Indian rupees, and the value shall be equal to the difference in the buying rate and selling rate as the case may be, and the Reserve Bank of India reference rate for that currency multiplied by the total number of units. So take this example. This is the first scenario in which RBI reference rate is available when how we are going to decide the value of supply in the hands of bank. I am clearly mentioned that we are going to decide the value of supply in the hand of bank only. So in that case, RBI reference rate is available, and I have 75,000 rupees and I want to convert the same into US dollar. Okay, and the rate of US dollar is 75 rupees. In that case, number of units कितने होंगे? How much is the number of units? That is 75,000 divided by 75, that is 1,000 will be the number of unit, and I need to take the difference between the RBI reference rate and US dollar की rate, that is 75 minus 72, that is 3 multiplied by 1,000. 3,000 will be the value of supply. Second point, suppose RBI reference rate is not available. RBI reference rate is not available. In that case, in case where the Reserve Bank of India reference rate for a currency is not available, in that case value shall be 1% of the gross amount of Indian rupee provided or received by the person. So in that case I am going with 75,000 rupees Indian currency. In that case 75,000 rupees ka 1% will be my value of supply, that is 750 rupees. So If the RBI reference rate is available, in that case we are going to take the buying and selling and the RBI reference rate ka difference multiplied by number of units. If the RBI reference rate is not available, in that case we are just going to take the amount which I am going to convert and multiplied by 1%. Third, in case where neither of the currency exchange in Indian rupees. I have dirham and I want to convert the same into US dollar. There is no role of Indian currency. In that case, how we can decide the value of supply? The mechanism is that in that case, I need to convert that both currency, that is I have euro and I want to convert the same in US dollar. I want to convert the both currencies into Indian currency and I need to take 1% of the amount whichever is less. I need to convert the euro into Indian currency. I want to convert that US dollar into Indian currency. Whatever will be the amount come from both these calculation, I need to take the lesser amount and I need to charge 1% of that particular amount as my value of supply. I am talking from banking point of view. So this is the aspect from which bank has to calculate the value of supply. So how bank is going to decide the value of supply? So the first option in hand of bank is that when RBI reference rate is available, then RBI reference rate of buying or selling rate के बीच का difference, the difference between RBI reference rate and buying and selling rate multiplied by number of units. If the RBI reference rate is not available, in that case whatever will be the amount I want to convert, I need to take 1% of that amount. And third situation in which I am not going to convert that amount in Indian currency. Suppose I have euro and I want to convert the same in US dollar. In that case, I need to convert both the currencies into Indian currencies. And दोनों में से whichever is less, I need to multiply the amount by 1% and that will become the value of supply in the banking industry. This is the first scheme. This is the first option which is available in the hand of bank has to select that option. There are second option is also available and that option is called as composition scheme. That option is called as composition scheme. If I want to convert 1 lakh rupees amount up to 1 lakh rupees, I have 1 lakh rupees or 90,000 or 95,000 and I want to convert the same into dirham. In that case, if bank has opted the composition scheme, in that case bank has to take the payment of GST on this amount. That means bank is going to calculate the value of supply as under. So 1% of the gross amount of currency exchanged for an amount of 1 lakh rupees subject to a minimum amount of 250 rupees. Suppose I want to convert 80,000. In that case, 80,000 का 1%, 1% of 80,000 that is 800 or 250 subject to a minimum of 250, whichever is higher that is 800 rupees will be my value of supply. Okay. If I want to convert amount more than 1 lakh rupees but up to 10 lakh rupees, in that case 1% of the rupee 1000 rupee or half of a percent of the gross amount of currency exchanged will be my value of supply. That is, suppose I want to convert 5,60,000 rupees into and foreign currency. In that case, 1000 plus 0.50 of 5,60,000 rupees, that is 3,800 will be my value of supply. Third situation, when I want to convert an amount in excess of 10 lakh rupees, in that case 5,000 or 5,500 or 1/10 of the percent of the gross amount of currency exchange was subject to a maximum amount of 60,000. There is a maximum limit is 60,000 rupees. So in that case, suppose I want to convert 16 lakh rupees, in that case 5,500 plus 0.10% of that 16 lakh, whatever will be the amount but subject to maximum of 60,000 rupees, that will be the value of supply in hand of that banking company. So conclusively we can say there is two options available in the hand of banking company. First is regular, another is composition. In case of regular scheme, there is three situations available as per first situation. If RBI reference rate is available, in that case buying and selling or RBI reference rate ke difference multiplied by number of units. If I am not if I have no RBI reference rate, in that case the value of amount converted will be multiplied by 1%, and if the amount is not converted into Indian currency, in that case both the amount is to be converted into Indian currency, and whatever will be less multiplied by 1%, that will be value of supply in case of bank. If bank is going to opt for the composition scheme, then there are also three sections are there: up to 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees above plus and up to 10 lakh rupees and above 10 lakh rupees. Up to 1 lakh rupees 1% or 250, whichever is higher. Above 1 lakh rupees up to 10 lakh rupees, in that case 1000 plus 0.50%. About 10 lakh rupees, in that case 5500 plus 0.10% of total amount exchanged, but subject to a maximum amount of 60,000 rupees. That will be the value of supply in case of banking industry. Suppose you are going to do work of any banking industry, or you are going to do the audit of that banking industry who has the foreign exchange forex. In that case we need to be very much careful for that. We need to check each and everything. We need to identify each and everything. Is that okay? Just confirm me once that the banking industry wala part is okay for you, so that we can take 2 to 3 more points, and then after we can conclude our today's session. Is that okay for everyone? Now we are going to decide the value of supply in case of air travel agent. Suppose I am an air travel agent and you need certain bookings from my side, so you are not going to directly book the same, you are going to take the help of that air travel agent. In that case, what will be the value of supply in hand of that air travel agent? That means what is the amount on which I need to make the payment of taxes. So for that purpose, if the booking is domestic booking, in that case value of supply will be 5% of the basic fare. If the booking is international booking, in that case the value of supply will be 10% of the basic fare. Suppose the basic fare is 10,000 rupees, in that case 5%, that is 500 rupees will be the value of supply, and that air travel agent has to make the payment of taxes on that 500 rupees. Okay, so this is a very basic concept for air travel agent. Value of supply in relation to life insurance business. In case of life insurance business, if in case of gross premium charged from the policy holder reduced by the amount allocated for the investment, suppose charge is 1 lakh rupees is the insurance policy, and from that 80,000 is the investment part or saving on behalf of the policy holder, if such amount is intimated to the policy holder at the time of supply of service. In that case, if the premium policy is single premium annuity, in that case 10% of that particular balance amount, and in all other cases 25% of the premium charged from the policy holder in the first time, and 12.5% policy premium charged for the subsequent years. That means in case of insurance, suppose insurance company is going to charge 1 lakh rupees as a premium, and insurance company is going to invest 80,000 rupees. 20,000 rupees is in the hand of insurance company. In that case, only on that 20,000 rupees GST has to be paid. Now, if this is single annuity, matlab I need to make the payment of taxes for one time only. In that case, 10% of the balance amount, that is 20,000, will be the value of supply. If this is not single annuity, I need to make the payment of premium multiple times on monthly basis or on annual basis. In that case, for the first time, first installment, I need to make the payment of 25%, and for second time I need to make the payment at the rate of 12.5%. This is my value of supply, and on this value I need to make the payment of taxes. Okay. Next concept is our buying and selling of second-hand goods. This is we need to discuss more on that. So we are going to take this topic in our next session, that is next week on Saturday morning sharp 8 a.m. I just want to revise the concepts which we had covered in our today's session. So we had covered in our today's session about the place of supply, section number 10 of IGST Act, section number 11 of IGST Act regarding our import of goods, section number 12 of IGST Act, certain specific situations. After that, we had started our discussion on online information database access and retrieval services. And आपको याद होगा, there are 7 conditions, and if recipient is going to follow any 2 conditions, in that case place of supply will be the address of that particular recipient. This is the concept of your place of supply. After that, we had started our discussion on section number 15 of CGST Act, that is value of supply. And in that case, section number 15 subsection 1 talks about when the recipient and buyer are not the related party and price is the sole consideration. In that case, your transaction value will be the value of supply. And section number 15 subsection 2 talks about certain additions. Section 15 subsection 3 talks about discount wala part in case of financial discount and trade related discount. After that, section number 15 subsection 4 says that if you are not able to decide the value of supply from these principles, in that case you need to take the reference of rule number various rules. Rule number 27 talks about your money plus monetary. Rule number 28 talks about distinct person and related party. Rule number 29 talks about your principal and agent supply. Rule number 30 is our master key. In that particular rule, cost plus 110% will be the value of supply. Rule number 31 is the residual. Rule number 31A is applicable in case of lottery. Lottery के अंदर face value multiplied by 100 divided by 128, और the price officially gazette के अंदर जो आई है, the price published the official gazette, whichever is will be the value of supply. And after that, we had discussed about the actionable claim. 100% of the face value will be treated as the value of supply. After that, we had discussed about the concept of banking company, on which amount banking company has to make the payment of taxes. And after that, we had started our discussion on the air travel agent, 5% of domestic booking and 10% in case of international booking. And after that, we had covered the concept of insurance business. Now one question is there: how much turnover is to be disclosed by air travel agent, as he has to charge GST on 5% or 10% of service charge? No, Kishore ji, this is no. In case of air travel agent, suppose I want to book one flight from Jodhpur to Mumbai. I want to book one flight from Jodhpur to Mumbai, and in that case, I am going to take the reference of an air travel agent, whether it is on online or I am going to the office of that particular agent. And in that case, the basic fare of that journey is suppose 10,000 rupees. This journey is my domestic journey because this journey is in India. So, in that case, the value of supply in the hand of that air travel agent is 10,000 rupees multiplied by 5%, that is 500 rupees. This is the value of supply only. That air travel agent has to charge GST on this 500 rupees at the rate of 18% and make the payment to the government. Suppose I am going to Dubai from Jodhpur. In that case, that journey will be treated as international booking. That booking will be treated as international booking. Suppose the fare is 20,000 rupees. In that case, 10% of 20,000 rupees, that is 2,000, will be the value of supply. and I need to, air travel agent has to make the payment of taxes on that 2000 only. 5% and 10% is not the rate of GST. This is the quantum to calculate the value of supply, and on that supply we need to charge the GST. Kishore is that okay? That is what is the specific provision which is applicable in case of our air travel agent. Just confirm me once that Kishore is that okay? Sales is just in case of domestic 500 rupees, and in case of international booking 2000 rupees, because only the value of supply we need to show in our GSTR 3B return. So that is what is the complete concept of our value of supply. We need to discuss on the value of supply in case of second hand goods, and in case of pure agent we'll discuss in our next session. So these are the things which we need to take care in our mind. I am requesting to everyone that just take certain practical case, just take certain practical scenarios and try to calculate the value of supply, try to calculate the place of supply, so that your concept will got strong, and you will got each and everything, you will got the concepts. If you have any doubt, if you have any question regarding our today's discussion, regarding our yesterday discussion, and regarding our first session, you are free to raise the questions in the WhatsApp group. You may connect with me over call, there is no issue with that. My target is to clear your concepts. Okay, in our next session we are going to discuss on the balance part, and we will start the discussion on the input tax credit, and on Sunday we are going to discuss completely on certain practical analysis of GST portal, various returns under GST, how we can file the returns, what are the things in return, and also we are going to discuss about the appeal. That means we can say that Sunday will be the complete tour of your GST portal, so that it will be useful for the taxpayer, for the tax authorities, all, so that we got the idea about the GSTN portal in an exact way. Okay, so if you have any question, you may raise in the chat box, or you may connect with me WhatsApp. Okay, so I am going to sign off for our today's session. Whatever will be your feedback, whatever will be your suggestion for our today's session, you are free to provide the same, to share the same in the WhatsApp group. Thank you, stay connected for more updates. We'll meet in